This video is a little different. Instead of me picking the topics, I'll be answering your questions. These are comments you guys have left on my recent videos, and I think a lot of aquarium keepers will benefit from the answers. From amano shrimp jumping out of tanks, to figuring out how to save some money on maintenance. These are things everyone in the hobby should know. So let's go over them one by one and make sure your aquarium gets exactly what it needs. What if my amano shrimp is starting to jump outside the aquarium? Amano shrimp trying to escape your aquarium might look strange, but it's actually very natural behavior. In the wild, amanos live in rivers that overflow during heavy rain or flooding, covering the nearby land in shallow water. During those times, they use the opportunity to move between water systems, sometimes even crawling over wet moss or mud to reach new areas. So when you see your amanos climbing out, they are following an instinct that tells them to search for a better environment. The question is, what's making them want to leave in the first place? If your water parameters are off, especially low oxygen levels, they might try to find somewhere else with better flow and cleaner water. Amanos come from fast-moving, highly oxygenated rivers, so still or stagnant water can stress them out. Try increasing surface agitation or adjusting your filter outlet to create more circulation. Another reason could be overcrowding. When there are too many amanos in one tank, food becomes harder to find, and some will start wandering to look for better territory. Even if you have plenty of algae, make sure you are supplementing with shrimp food so they are not competing for resources. And keep in mind, sometimes they'll still climb out for no major reason. It's just what they do. If this keeps happening, cover any open gaps or consider adding a lid to your aquarium, especially at night when they are most active. It's impossible to stop their natural behavior completely, but we can at least make sure there's nothing in the tank pushing them to do it. Can you tell me what is the solution you use for cleaning that diffuser? This question is about a video I made a couple of weeks ago, where I mentioned that I don't remove my diffuser from the tubing anymore when cleaning it. Instead, I place it directly in the cleaning solution without disconnecting anything. This works especially well for glass diffusers, since disconnecting them can be a nightmare. The pressure in the tubing makes it really hard to pull off, and you can easily break it or even hurt yourself. Now, to answer the question, the solution I use actually saves me a lot of money, since these products can be expensive, and it is just water with a little bit of bleach. But not any kind of bleach. Make sure it's labeled disinfecting bleach. Those have a higher concentration of sodium hypochlorite, which is what actually breaks down the algae buildup. Avoid anything labeled low splash, scented, or gentle. I tried those before, and they didn't do anything. The algae just stay there. With disinfecting bleach, you'll literally see the algae start to dissolve within minutes. I usually leave the diffuser in the solution for about 10 minutes. Then I move it to another container with water and a dechlorinator for the same amount of time. That step is really important. It removes any bleach residues that could harm your aquarium. After that, I rinse it again in clean water and it's good to go. This method keeps the diffuser spotless without ever having to disconnect it, and it saves you from breaking another glass diffuser. If you guys are enjoying the video, remember to like and subscribe. And let me know if you like this format of answering comments in the video. I might do it more often. Is there another filter in the aquarium that pumps the water into the inlet hose of the canister filter? This question is about a DIY canister filter I made a while back, and I've seen a few of you guys asking how the water actually flows into the canister if the pump is inside the filter instead of in the aquarium. The short answer is no. There's no extra pump in the aquarium pushing water into the inlet hose. The way it works is purely based on how canister filters are designed to use pressure and vacuum. First, you fill the entire canister with water before turning it on. That's the same thing that store-bought canisters filters do. You either have to fill them manually or use a priming button that forces water into the canister from the aquarium. Either way, the filter has to be completely full of water before you start it. Once it's filled and you turn on the pump, it begins pushing water out of the canister and back into the aquarium. Because the canister is airtight, that outgoing water creates an empty space that immediately needs to be filled. That's what pulls new water from the tank through the inlet hose, the vacuum created inside the sealed canister. So there's this continuous cycle of water being pushed out and pulled in at the same time, which keeps the flow going without needing an extra pump. It's a simple concept, but it's really fascinating to see it working once it's sealed correctly. And by the way, if you're looking for healthy plants for your aquarium, check out my shop. Everything is grown underwater and shipped with guaranteed live arrival, no matter the weather. You'll find the link in the description if you want to take a look. What is the point of a filter system beyond providing some extra surface area for bacteria to live in? This is a really good question, and it's one that a lot of people wonder about. What's the point of a filter besides just holding beneficial bacteria? The truth is, filters do a lot more than most people realize. A typical canister filter actually provides three main types of filtration: mechanical, biological, and chemical. Mechanical filtration is the easiest to understand. It's the sponge or floss catching solid debris like uneaten food, fish waste, or plant trimmings floating around. Then comes biological filtration, which is what most people focus on. That's where beneficial bacteria grow and break down toxic ammonia and nitrite into safer nitrate, keeping your tank cycled and stable. But there's also chemical filtration, which uses things like activated carbon or other resins to remove dissolved compounds that mechanical and biological filters can't. Those chemicals can include leftover medicine, tannins released from wood that tint the water brown, or other impurities that cause discoloration or odors. That's why when you use fresh activated carbon, your water suddenly looks crystal clear. That's chemical filtration doing its job. Beyond that, filters also provide something that's often overlooked: water flow. That movement keeps oxygen levels stable, distributes nutrients, and helps CO2 spread evenly through the tank. So yes, the bacteria are a big part of what makes filters essential, but the combination of all these other benefits is what keeps the entire ecosystem healthy and balanced. What is the TDS range for plant aquarium? For anyone who is not very familiar with it, TDS stands for Total Dissolved Solids, which is just a measurement of how many minerals, salts, and other dissolved particles are in your aquarium water. It's not the most reliable measurement like GH and KH are, but it gives you a good overall picture of your water's hardness and mineral balance. For most planted aquariums, a TDS range between 100 and 250 ppm is okay. Below 100 ppm, the water can be too pure, meaning it lacks enough minerals for healthy plant and trim growth. Above 250 ppm, nutrient uptake can start to get inconsistent. Plants might struggle to absorb what they need, even if you are fertilizing properly. If you keep soft water fish or delicate plants like Bucephalandra or Cryptocoryne, staying closer to the lower end, around 120 to 150 ppm, usually works best. If your setup is more general, with hardy species and active soil, sitting between 180 and 220 ppm can work for you. You can adjust TDS by remineralizing RO water or doing partial water changes if it's too high. Just remember, TDS is not a parameter you chase like pH or nitrate. It's a reference number to help you understand your water consistency over time. If your plants and livestock are healthy, stability matters more than hitting a perfect TDS value. The questions you guys ask always make me see things from a different angle. If you have a question of your own, leave it in the comments. It might be the next one I feature in a video.